Hi, welcome to another Labnote session. In this session, we are going to discuss PAT on ASA. Here is our topology. We have 6 routers, 1 ASA and 2 switches for layer 2 connectivity. We have zones created outside, DMZ, inside and WAN zone. We have security level assigned, 04 outside, 50 for DMZ and WAN zone, 100 for inside. So in this session we are going to cover PAT. So basically we need to configure a NAT statement on ASA for R4, R5 and R6 to reach internet. So we'll be using two methods, auto and manual type of configurations. So before that I will show you what I have configured. I've done some initial configuration. It's nothing much. On R1, which is ISP router, I have created a loopback 0 IP address of 8.8.8.8/32 and fast Ethernet assigned with 1.1.1.1/24, and there is no route. On R2, assigned IP address and a default route to ASA. R3, IP address and default route. Similarly, R4 also have similar configuration. Let's check ASA. Assigned IP address. There is a default route to ISP address, which is 1.1.1.1. That is the ISP router interface. So let's go to ASA and configure a NAT statement which will help R4, R5, R6 to get internet access. So all these routers are sitting on WAN zone. So we need to plan how we can do the NATing. So basically we will be covering two type of implementation, auto and manual. First we'll check how we can do the auto one. So we know that it's in same segment of WAN zone. So first we will create an object network and we can name it 192.168.3.0. This is that segment, and we need to say subnet 192.168.3.0 and subnet mask. This is the subnet. And for auto NAT we need to configure the NAT under the object of the source. So NAT we are doing NAT from WAN zone to outside. So here we have options like network object mode commands, dynamic, static. So we need to configure dynamic, and we have option like basically our requirement is to have a path implemented. So we can say that in interface. So what happens, whatever the traffic coming from this segment 192.168.3.0, it will be NATed with the WAN IP address. So the source address will be translated to then WAN interface IP address. So we can test this. This is the configuration. Show run NAT. So we'll verify the log. I have already run starter debug. Let's go to R4. We need to check the internet reachability. So we can see that if you're going to R1, we can see that echo reply sent to 1.1.100. That is the WAN IP address of ASA. Basically, the outside interface. This is the IP address. So this is working. If you want, we can check for other one. Let's go to R5 ping 8.8.8. We can check and we can verify show xlate. We can see that there is a path formed from WAN zone. The IP address of the source is 192.168.3.2 and it is used port number 6, and the outside IP address is 1.1.1.100 and port 6. So this is the table which formed. Let's go to R6 and check. Here, show xlate. You can see that this is the session for R6. Okay, so let's implement the same path by using next implementation type of manual. Right now we have implemented by using auto type. Clear configure NAT. This command will remove all the NAT configuration. So the manual method should be done at global config. So object network this is the source network we need, and we need to call the subnet 192.168.3.0. Now we'll configure the NAT, and it is coming from WAN zone going to outside, and here we need to specify source. Since we are not in auto type, we were configuring NAT inside the object of the source. So here we need to mention the source. That's it. And it's asking source static or dynamic. It's a dynamic, and asking for the real source group. So we have already created a object with the source subnet, so we will call that. And we need to map with an IP address, right? So here we'll be using our interface, basically outgoing interface. So that's it. Show run NAT. This is the configuration, and we have already created a object. This is the object. So this is how we can configure PAT. Let's test this. Clear Xlate. Go to R4. Try to ping internet IP address. I can ping R5. I can ping. We'll verify R6 also. You can verify. So we can check the NAT table. Show Xlate. Yeah, you can see that source is 192.168.3.3, which is R6 IP address, and the port used 8, and it is NATed with 1.1.1.100, which is the outside interface of ASA. And we can verify from ICMP debug also. See, always it was taking the ASA outside interface. So this is how we can configure the PAT, dynamic PAT. So I hope you have understood the concept, and thank you for watching.